pressing play. Welcome back. This is Think Positive Part 2. Alright, so the last time we actually spoke about how to just keep a positive mind throughout the day and sort of in general, but we didn't really discuss why we think negatively in the first place. And that has such an important stand in terms of it being the number 2 of the routine. Awareness is so important. So just knowing, why do I think the way that I'm thinking? Why do I think negatively? Because it's one thing to take a negative thought and be like, oh my gosh, here's a positive one, and keep resisting the negative one, and the whole term or the whole thing that I've heard before is that negative thoughts persist, especially if you fight them. So it's just easier to actually acknowledge them and know where they're coming from. So I know that from my train of thought and how I used to think and how I still think, because it's not like I think positive 24/7 and I'm just like, yes, positivity, yes. There are moments of negative thinking, but in that moment, I kind of think to myself, this thought that I'm thinking right now, where does this come from? And I found out that most of it came from childhood traumas, most of it came from friends, television. Like, there's so many things that teach you how to think to a point where you don't think for yourself. Now, when you think about it, when you're a child, you are defenseless. Whatever you're told, you absorb. You're a sponge. Whatever mommy and daddy say is so important to you. Whatever auntie and uncle say is so important to you. Whatever your teacher says is so important to you. So when you actually think about it, as you go to school, you want to impress your teacher. That's the truth. We all have some sort of people-pleasing part of us. You want to please your parents. So whatever they say to you about you sticks. And you get older and you start to realize that, wow, these people are human. They're not perfect. Not everything that they said about me is necessarily nice or kind. And when they said all those things, the moments where it made you feel a specific way. If someone calls you stupid, for example, in that moment, you are upset and you go and you cry, whatever you need to do, or you get upset and you just don't talk to the person again. But those words have stuck to you or stuck on you. So in the future, as you're growing up, every time when you do something, you always think I'm stupid, and your actions start to match your thoughts. So that negative thought of I'm stupid carries on throughout your life. You start to experience things that make you feel stupid because of that train of thought. And it's not necessarily because you actually are stupid or because your thoughts are making you stupid. It's because if someone has to bring something that's challenging, not difficult, but challenging, right before your eyes, and you are standing here, and let's say someone else who was brought up to believe, or they were told you are so smart, you're so intelligent, really positive affirmations stood next to you, and they gave you this challenging thing to do. You don't know if you can or can't do it, but because of the fact that you might be thinking in a way that says, I'm stupid, you look at that thing and you think, oh gosh, I can't do this. This is really difficult. I'm not going to do it. Whereas the other person who's had really positive conversations with themselves and has been told such amazing things about themselves would probably look at this and be like, I'm smart, I can do this, this is a challenge. Where you call something difficult, someone might call it a challenge. And that is just how we experience life. We can experience life from a positive perspective, or we can experience life from a negative perspective. It just depends. What are the conversations you're having with yourself when you're alone in your room? What are the words that you're saying to yourself that are building your character, that are building your habits? So you just need to be aware. So as I'm thinking right now, let's say I'm thinking a positive thought. I might think, oh, Sarah, you're so smart, you're so fat, and I'm like thinking all these beautiful things about myself. The chances are that I've had experiences where I've been told these beautiful things. I've had experiences where I've decided that this is who I am and this is how I am. And we just need to take negative thoughts and go back and really actually think and say, this thing that I think about myself, is it really, truly me? Or is this what I was told by my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, my uncle, my teacher, my friend? Is this what TV has made me believe is not beautiful? All these things like, oh, the skinnier you are, the better, or the thicker you are, the better. The thing is that society changes so often. So if you're going to define yourself according to society, you're most probably going to think that you are inadequate all the time. Whereas you could just define what your truth is. But defining your truth starts from you going back into time and back in time and thinking, where did it all start? Where did I start having these thoughts? And you probably won't remember when exactly it started. I mean, hey. But you can actually go back and say, okay, so I think that I'm not good looking. Where did it start? Did someone call me ugly? Did someone tell me that I don't dress well? Did someone say this to me? And is this the truth? Is this my truth? Because the most important person right now is you, not necessarily what someone else says about you. And that's where we need to start. So you can actually sit down, think to yourself, what are the negative things that I say to myself all the time? What is your national what is your personal anthem? You know, like the national anthem. What is your personal anthem? It might be something really mean. When you actually listen to your thoughts, you realize how mean you actually are to yourself. But we don't realize that this is an experience that you had in childhood or wherever. Maybe you had it last week, whenever you had it, but you yourself are carrying on the abuse. And the abuser is no longer there. You know, like the need for punishment and the need for shame and guilt. There's certain things or certain people or certain religions that really throw guilt on our heads so much that all you do all your life is just pile up guilt over and over and over again. So you keep abusing yourself when the abuser is no longer present. And it's time that we just sit down for some time and we think to ourselves, this is a really abusive thought. This is a thought that was said to me when I was younger. This is a thought that was said to me when the person was angry. This is a thought when you need to also understand where the other person was coming from. This is not a video to say be angry at this person and be angry at that person. No, we were all born pure, beautiful, innocent beings. And as time went on, we got exposed to stuff that changed who we were. But now it's just time for us to go back to who we were. You know, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, you're amazing, you've got an amazing personality, you are kind, you are selfless, you are every beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing that you can ever imagine. That is what you are. You just need to discover that by going back and thinking about all those negative thoughts and all those abuse scenarios that you went through and thinking, number one, this person said this to me. They don't know me. They don't know my truth. Okay? Number two, this person probably had their own terrible experiences. They probably also have their own negative thought in their head. You know, they have negative patterns in their own heads and they don't know how to deal with that. Therefore, they are kind of putting it onto me. And yes, don't take the whole load. It's not your fault. But just being aware that these people say things not because they know you or because they can define you. They say them because they're reflecting on their own or projecting on their own stuff, you know? So let's write it down. What negative thought? When did you experience it? How old were you? How did it impact your life? And then also look at the patterns. Like, where have you been applying that thought in your life? And have you made it your reality? Has being stupid become your reality? Do you get into a room and people have conversations and you think to yourself, Jesus, people are smart, but I don't know what they're talking about? You could pretty much have like at least one say, but because of the negative things that you say to yourself constantly, you might not be able to contribute to the conversation, not because you're stupid, because you think you're stupid. But yeah, guys, so I really hope that this video really helps. I've been mumbling on and on, but really, like, thinking positive is so, it's not like easy. And it's not just days. It's not like waking up and thinking, oh yes, I'm gonna think positive today and that's all I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be happy today, that's all I'm gonna do. It takes work. It takes going back into the past. It takes you taking accountability for your own life and realizing that your experiences are pretty much a reflection of what's going on up here, because your experience could be totally different to someone's experience in the same setting. Thank you so much for pressing play. See you next time. Stay positive, stay real, stay authentic. Bye.